Nuclear! Nuclear! Nuclear!
Hello and welcome to another installment of the Zionsville Football Fantasy Football Podcast. This week brought to you by Sleeper. Sleeper, the only fantasy football app made for fans by fans. This is the show where we take a look at the details and goings on in this league because we all know our commissioner won't. I'm here with my co-host as usual, Mr. RJ Wagner. RJ, how are you doing?
Ted, I am grateful for where I am. I really don't want to get too into it right now. We'll discuss it in the recap. But let's just go ahead and get our guest on the screen.
Sensational. We've got our guest today. He took a hard loss. Oh my goodness, he took a really hard loss. Don't worry, it's fall break. Trevor, how are you doing after that wonderful Monday night?
You know, Teddy, not the best. Brutal way to lose when it comes down to the Monday night game, especially when it comes down to what could have been the very last play of the Monday night game. And losing by 2 is never fun, but, that's all right. Well, we'll bounce back and we're moving forward and already focused on next week. So could have been worse. I had the win against Monty when I shouldn't have on Monday night with Lamar. So 1-1 in Monday luck. I'll take it.
And, why don't we just get right into your guys' matchup? RJ, Monday night, Travis Kelce versus Xavier Worthy. Kelce came up huge with 15 points, Worthy with 8. But you had some great plays. Rico Dowdle, over 200 yards, 31 points. Colts D was 16. That was good. Trev, you had Dak go nuclear along with CMC and Puka. But Jacoby Myers with 5. Trey McBride was 6. Yikes. It's probably tough to watch knowing just one more catch you would have won.
Yeah, Ted. First off, Dak was pissing me off because they had 2 times first and goal within the 5, one at the 1-yard line, one at the 4. They were already up, and he got 2 garbage time touchdowns. And when that happened, when Strader died, my kicker, Kyler got a concussion from a ball off of his forehead and a touchdown to start the game that got called back down to the 1 that they ran in. Didn't think I had a chance. Anyways, that's not even what I had written down, but now I'll just go what I had to say. Week 8, 2023, the Carl Nassib sack counts beat the Marlboro Joes 116.76 to 116.06, a 0.7 difference.
God.
Week 10 of the 2022 season, the Shaquem Griffin left hands beat the Weiner Diner 49ers 132.76 again to 131.74, a 1.02 point difference.
Jesus.
And honestly, those 2 were tough, but this one might have been worse from how it was set up. After the Week 5, 2025, Crashy Rices beat Christian McCarry Me to repeats 128.7 to 126.68, a 2.02 point difference.
It's a blowout compared to the other 2.
I know. The way Kelce was playing, I really didn't think I had a chance up until this week. It was pretty brutal. The whole Chiefs and with Worthy back, I thought they would really feed him the ball. But after that Kelce early touchdown, made it a good match, and I was able to pull it out. But like you said, Dowdle over Kamara. I think I changed that within the last an hour before the 1:00 games. The Jacoby Myers start for Trevor, he pretty much did the same thing, but an opposite. He started Jacoby over Jordan Addison, and if he started Jordan Addison, he would have won. So that was pretty wild. CMC, though, he did his thing. I have a stat for him. He has scored 95.7 PPR points via receiving yards or just from receiving alone, the only receivers that have done more than that is Puka, who Trevor also has, Emeka Egbuka, and Amon-Ra St. Brown and JSN. So he would be like wide receiver 5 from just his receiving. Jacoby Myers, a bad stat for him. He hasn't scored double-digit PPR fantasy points in 3 straight games and has below 17% target share in 2 of those games. Zach Charbonnet outsnapped Kenneth Walker 34-26, and he also ran 9 more routes than him. I'm pumped to be 4-1, inching closer to that virtual 6-win clinched playoffs. And then also, Trevor beat me in the fantasy playoffs last year. I just want to point that out. But you'll have to go all the way back to week 9 of 2021, the last time Trevor has beaten me in the regular season.
Almost 4 years ago.
Yeah, I think COVID was still going on. Did they even have I think in that fantasy season, they might not have even had fans.
It will be over 4 years the next time we play.
Yeah.
Trev, how are you feeling after that brutal loss?
Yeah, I mean, those are some crazy stats to pull out there. And obviously in the moment, very upsetting. But from those stats about our history of playing in the regular season, going up versus RJ in a close matchup, I wasn't really too hopeful to begin with anyway, especially if you think about if it just came down to luck of one more catch. And we're talking about luck. Who do you think would win in a matchup of luck, me or RJ? So I was expecting once Travis Kelce scored that I probably wasn't going to win, but just a brutal way to see it go down like that, especially after Xavier Worthy looked like he broke his ankle and then just was in like the next play miraculously. I was thinking when he was going down like that, well, that's it. But somehow got back in and started making some catches there in the second half. I think I took the lead, and then I think maybe Travis Kelce, that last drive they had to take the lead is when he caught a pass for you to get the lead back. And then down to the final drive they had trying to come back, I was just hoping that they would throw like a 20-yard pass to Xavier Worthy before he started pitching it. Why would you not? He's your fastest guy. Just throw him in. But instead they do a little 10-yard play to Travis Kelce. So. But just a brutal way to lose by that little coming down to Monday Night Football. I did win all my Travis Kelce bets. So I think I had him first touchdown, anytime touchdown, over in receiving yards, over in receptions. And then I even on that last drive live bet him at like plus 200 to have a catch. So I could not – so he could not overcome the power of those bets this time. But at least I won a little money off Travis Kelce. But like I said, I kind of deserved that for that Monday Night Football win over the Bink with that late garbage time, Lamar touchdown. And honestly, you are what your record says you are. And I'm 3-2 and have 3 wins in the breakdown, 2 losses in the breakdown. So I think I'm a worthy 3-2. So like I said, we'll move forward. But like we talked about, great performance from Dak, which really, even though he had those garbage time touchdowns, it sucks because I expected to take a couple losses like here, not having Lamar. But for him to get, I think, more than Lamar's even had this year so far and still lose with and just waste a big time performance from a streaming quarterback like that kind of sucks. But CMC and Puka, they look awesome. I think their lowest totals are like 18 and 17 points apiece, or like their low scores on the season. And when you were talking about CMC, his receiving yardage and how he'd be a top receiver, he still has no rushing touchdowns. 49 still not a rushing touchdown this season. So he's basically an extra receiver. Season low for McBride. I'm going to need more out of him. And then those 3 guys on the bench with double digits. Should have started any of them other than Jacoby Myers. That's the last time I'll pick up one of Kevin's drops and start him. So I was hoping you weren't going to bring that up. But, yeah, that was brutal. It was looking during the morning game, it was looking like a good decision because Addison wasn't doing anything until the very last drive he had, and he started putting up points. But I like to see Bill Krosky Merritt getting some good points, so he might be in the starting lineup moving forward. RJ, great pickup and start for Rico Dowdle. Colts D, Kelsey, and Gibbs with solid 15s. Just an overall solid performance. And but other than that, tough for that injury from Schrader and Kyler getting knocked out by a missed snap. So, but we move on. Got to win this week.
But real quick before we move on, Trev, I just want to know, after the Monday night game, you turn the game off. What are the next 5 minutes for you? Just before you move on.
A lot of pain, a lot of disappointment, and then straight into the stages of grief. I texted Jack the next morning about how I was going through the stages of grief, and I was on the bargaining phase and just telling myself how I just need to kick his ass. So,
wow.
So I'm moving on, and then straight into the breakdown, and the guest picks. So
that's good.
Something to take the mind off of it.
I did have one tough start with Kyler. It can go. Since I won, people might forget it, but I did have Matthew Stafford as my starting quarterback up until midday Thursday, and he got 31, while Kyler had 13.
Yeah,
something.
I was thinking about that Thursday because I felt like we were pretty even on Thursday. I got for what I would have about expected from Puka and CMC, and you got 11 from Devontae, and I was like, well, at least I can say that at least you didn't start Stafford, but didn't matter. Another close one. Oh, so you've beaten me 3 times by combined 5 points.
Yeah,
in the past few years.
Well, moving on to the next matchup. This one was not exciting at all. This one was done by Sunday night, I'm pretty sure. Kevin beat Jack 143-130. Kevin's talking a lot of smack about his trade and how he's a great manager, but he did do well. Javonte Williams with 26, JSN with 23. Maybe he made the right decision. We all hope he didn't. Jack, on the other hand, no offense, RJ, he still had a good week, but he just wasted performances. Kyron with 27, or as I call him, Kryron. Jalen Hurts with 23, Jake Ferguson with 20, but Stephon on his bench with 19 points really hurts him. He would have won if he played him over Jameson Williams. RJ, what'd you think about this? I feel like that's a tough moral dilemma for you when Kevin beats Jack.
Yeah, no, I'll say his name. I fucking hate Jack. But I do hate him slaughtering from Kevin. Jack really got lucky for that 27-point performance from Kyron because him and Corum were splitting carries pretty well until he fumbled and then got benched, and then Kyron just completely took over. I will say Jake Ferguson has finished as a top 5 tight end each of the last 4 weeks. I think that I think he should trade him. I don't know what for, but you might as well trade him when he's high to someone that needs to win now, like the bank. No, not me. CeeDee Lamb, when he comes back, we've all seen what Jake Ferguson is with CeeDee Lamb. Mm-hmm. So why wouldn't we expect that to happen again, I guess? You might as well trade him at the high for teams that need wins now. Even though CD might be back this week, I really have no idea. Derrick Henry he scored 29.2 PPR points week 1. Every week combined after that is 29.8.
Wow.
For Kev, great Michael Carter start over D Mercado. Carter saw 72% of the running back rushes He also didn't drop the ball before entering the end zone like Amari DiMercato. I know Chase Brown is on Kevin's bench. And Kevin's been offering trades.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And he texted me last night
At
saying,
11:40?
is that when he texted you?
Hold on. Let's read the text we got from Kevin at yesterday at 11:14.
I got a text at 11:14.
Cancel
all trades. Chase Brown
is now once again
a wagon. We may be back. So yeah, if Chase Brown is back, he saw 4 more carries than Samaje Perine, and both of them ran the same amount of routes. Kevin's obviously big on the Joe Flacco trade. So let's dive into some next-gen stats and EPA per dropback, which is expected points added per dropback for a quarterback. Jake Brown is dead last in EPA for a team, negative 0.44. Second to last is Joe Flacco at negative 0.41.
Improvement. So
I don't know what who knows? I like Joe Flacco. Hopefully it adds something to the Bengals offense because they suck. But add that with an offensive line that is god-awful. Their best offensive lineman has a 61 PFF grade and has allowed 4 sacks already this season in Orlando Brown Jr. I think it's pretty tough to get this excited if I'm holding on to any Bengals skilled positions like Kevin, but who knows? But anyways, love Tet on Kevin's bench. I really like that depth, though. And then Pittman, JSN, Javonte all did great. Olave did left a little to be desired, but with 143 points scored, you can't really complain. Good win for Kev.
Trev, what do you think about this one? Wait, before we start, have you gotten any trade offers from Kevin and then get into the matchup?
Not any specific offers, but he has texted me about working out a deal. So,
wow.
But what didn't get into very, very extensive talks. But
he didn't text you that he's withdrawing all trade offers and
he's back on the wagon
at 11:14 p.m.
I didn't get the Chase Brown text. Maybe I really want Chase Brown now.
No, he's go ahead.
Good. Kevin, good performance from all players around. Lowest position player was, I think it was Olave with 9 points. I had it written down, and we'll talk about it when we get to his team, but similar to Chase's team, or just all position players were doing well. What does that say? Okay. He got himself out of averaging less than 100 points per game. I think going into this week, he was with his points for, he was averaging less than 100 total points per game. So above that now. Jack with the struggling Henry, you mentioned it, RJ, Derrick Henry, as many points in the last 3-4 weeks as he had in week 1. And that's certainly not helping with Lamar being out. So that's a concern there. But like you mentioned, great production from Ferg. I just doubt that Jack will even think about trading him or even watch this to make a trade and listen to your advice. So, but big win for Kevin, disappointing, unexpected loss for Jack. So
Not disappointing at all.
Both are sitting at 2 and 3, I believe.
Also, I did get the review from the sports book. It was a winning and losing week for them because the futures bets that are out there right now, a lot of them include the under on Kevin's season total, while this week there were bets on Kevin to win. So
confusing.
Little confusing on what the book really wanted to happen, but overall they seemed pleased that Kevin got to get a win, not drop to 2 and 4 for that season long. Sorry, Trev, did you have more?
Nope. That's all I had on that one.
All right, moving on to the next matchup. This brings up a talking point I might want to talk into later because I see this one as a rivalry matchup. I beat Kyle 112 to 105. I think of every other game as whatever, but when it's Kyle, there's something like it just means more. It's like the SEC. It just means more when I play Kyle. I don't know why. Maybe it's because we played week 1 every week, but I feel like I'm scared anything can happen. But anything did happen. It was a dog fight. I had the Bake Show helping me out with 30 points, JJ with 15, J.K. Dobbins also with 15. Pretty upset about James Cook scoring less than 5 points, but what can I say? He didn't need any more. Kyle, on the other hand, Justin Herbert with 16 hurts, Juwan Johnson with 2.7. That hurts. Harrison Butker only with 4 when he needed a big night on Monday night. RJ, what did you think about this matchup? I'm happy with the win.
Yeah, close matchup. I honestly didn't look too much into it like during the week or especially Monday night. I know Kevin mentioned a few things that Kyle was still in the dog hunt. I was just more focused on my own matchup. But Baker quietly having a MVP type year at quarterback. That's the worst performance you'll ever get from James Cook this year. And still got the win, so that's got to look good. And the worst performance you'll ever get from Brandon Aubrey. Let's talk about that. A missed PAT.
Yeah.
That's easily the craziest thing that happened this weekend, and we saw an interception that turned into a touchdown for the team that threw the interception. Mm-hmm. I mean, that was and the announcers didn't even talk about it. Like when I saw that, that was wild. Anyways, Justin Jefferson hasn't scored a touchdown since week 1. But also, he hasn't had a game with a target share below 26%. So that's pretty nice. If only he can get in the end zone, then he'd be fantastic. For Kyle, sort of a similar team performance as you, Ted, but without that Baker performance at QB. One thing to eye for Kyle, a little worrying here, Saquon saw a season low 72% of offensive snaps, not rush share, offensive snaps, limited in practice on Tuesday with a knee injury as well. Season low in rush share, too, at 66%, and season low at target share at 8%. And it's not like they were blowing them out. They lost the game. Definitely something to keep an eye on there. Not good. Not only that, but Quinshon Judkins also saw his lowest rush share since his return, but it was still 80%. But the biggest concern to me is that he only ran 5 routes all game, and the backups, Jerome Ford and Dylan Sampson combined, saw 21. The reason that scares me a lot is the Browns are going to be down. They're going to need to be throwing the ball a lot with Dylan Gabriel. How much is Quinshon Judkins really going to run the ball? Mm-hmm. Who knows? Besides that, Nico gets in the end zone along with Pickens. Another trade that I see for Bink, if he doesn't want Ferguson, is George Pickens. If Kyle's is willing to get rid of him with CeeDee Lamb maybe coming back, the Bink, we haven't talked about his game yet, but he's got to do something with his team. He's got to make some moves. And Pickens, I think, is that guy at wide receiver. But obviously you can only do one, Pickens or Ferguson. But if CeeDee Lamb's not playing, I think he's a top 10 receiver in fantasy, very consistent. But, yeah, good win for you, Ted. Sucks for Kyle and those future bettors that have him under are very ecstatic as well. So,
Trev, what do you got to think? I'd love a little perspective, as I know you're the Justin Jefferson guy, and it's frustrating not watching him get in the end zone, but just your perspective on that.
Yeah, I mean, I can speak from Justin Jefferson with Sam Darnold and with Kirk Cousins, but with these quarterbacks this year, J.J. McCarthy and Carson Wentz, I don't know how you're feeling. I mean, that's why I was a little hesitant on him to get him in the draft. I just didn't know how he would look with J.J. McCarthy, but still getting good targets, as RJ mentioned. So I think you just have to stick with him and hope he starts developing some chemistry.
Ted, what are you drinking?
Drinking a little tea with some Kroger honey.
Oh, that's some bourbon.
But yeah. So I mean, hopefully, I think the best thing for you is that either Carson Wentz sticks as quarterback or JJ McCarthy comes back and he just finds some consistency in one of those two guys rather than different quarterbacks. But good win for you. You're on a little win streak, right? 2 games in a row.
Mm-hmm.
That's huge. Good performance from everyone but those running backs. Even Kyle, a lot of solid numbers everywhere, but the biggest difference in this game was at the quarterback position and the tight end position. Teddy, you had the 30 from Baker, where Kyle only had the 16 from Herbert. And then Teddy Tyler Warren got you 12, while only 2 from Kyle's tight end. So that's a 25-point difference right there. It'd be the difference of the game. So shows the importance of those quarterback and tight end positions. But like RJ said, James Cook, bad week, but you still got the win. I think it was 14 points under his previous low score on the season. So really don't know what happened there, if he just ran into a good Patriots defense. But and then, yeah, bad for Kyle with Saquon only getting 6 rushes. It's like, what were the Eagles doing? I mean, they hadn't lost, and they got their guy Saquon and give him the ball. And they've been winning games without needing Jalen Hurts to throw, and all of a sudden he's throwing all the time. And they blow a big lead. So we'll see if that changes Thursday night. But and then, yeah, going back to the trade, talking trades of the season. The only trade we've had so far, Kyle goes 0-1 after the trade, and Kevin 1-0 since the trade. So it'll be fun to see how those records continue throughout the year as the trade, after the trade, as we move forward. Teddy, who have you lost to?
I believe I lost to Kevin, which was depressing. And then I lost week 1 to you, RJ. Week 1 to RJ.
Is that week 2? I think week 1 was in division because I think I played Chase.
Ever since I stopped playing Kyle, I have no.
Did we play, Ted? I think we did. Oh, we played this week.
We do play this week, but I don't know how the schedule works. I have absolutely no idea.
You don't remember who else you lost to?
Trevor, I heard a smart man one time. Got to be like a goldfish. You just got to move on. Week 1, I lost to Jack. So I've lost to Kevin and Jack.
Gotcha. Interesting. Well, good win. Big Show quickly becoming QB3. So no issue there with you for your quarterback, even though he's wasn't a big name guy to start in the draft, but it was a good pick. And yeah, that Brandon Aubrey miss was crazy. I caught it out of the corner of my eye, and I thought surely that had to be blocked or something, bad hold or something. So is it time to trade Brandon Aubrey?
Oh,
Missing PATs because I want him. So maybe we can work out a deal.
Jack just picked up Cooper Kupp.
Pooper fuck?
Pooper fuck, and dropped Kendrick Bourne.
Moving on to
also breaking news: Lamar Jackson is not practicing. 4th straight missed practice.
That's cool.
Take another pull of the vodka.
Might have to adjust my lineup now. I had him in there for the projections. Oh, he's still projected. All right, cool.
Moving on to our last matchup. This one was just a tough one to watch. You would have hoped that Chase had some mercy. He just pummeled Monty into an 0-5 start. Mahomes, JT, and Jamar, almost all of them with 30 points each. barely needed the rest of his team to beat Monty. Monty, rough week again. Josh Allen, 23, Egbuka with 28. 5 different players with single-digit performances.
Yeah.
If I'm Monty, I'm looking up to the heavens and saying, why, God? Why have you forsaken me? He's having a tough time. RJ, how did you think about this matchup?
Bigged up for Chase, but not at the expense of losing the battle with ovarian cancer. My prayers go to him and his family. It's a terrible disease, and we hope we're able to find a cure. Please, everyone, donate to the link below. Let's find a cure for ovarian cancer. Other than that, JT continuing to look like maybe next year's 1-1 pick. Jamar finally finding his way. Now gets a new QB. How's that going to look? He might have to get in the groove all over again. Really, besides that, that's Scadaboo's floor with how much they use him. 75% rush share, 14% target share in 2 games without Tyrone Tracy. Brian Thomas Jr., I feel like might have got a little lucky with a few of those late game grabs. Overall, he's still kind of struggling. A few drops last game, just throughout the game. Without those big plays, I don't know how we would have ended up. But he is getting those targets. And then Dalton Kincaid continuing to look like one of the best pickups in the league, I feel like, kind of quietly. Really good tight end. Add that up with Rashad White on the bench, who I think Bucky's out for a little bit, maybe even go on the IR. So that would be nice. And now for the Bink. First off, the season-long under cashers rejoice again after another crushing defeat, albeit did score the 100 points we needed to all get there for the first time, and we did it once last year, so maybe we can get it twice this year. Josh Allen, when you draft a QB that high, I think you need to be averaging 30-plus.
Mm-hmm.
And I know he's still QB1, I get it, but he's only 4 points behind Mahomes, who Chase got in the 9th round. Now, Egbuka had a day, and that was about it. Jordan Mason finished with 72% rush share and 11.8% target share despite his fumble. And honestly, I say all this as a bad thing because he had a touchdown, all that work, and had 56 total yards. That was it. And if I'm the Bink, I've said it already, you got to make trades. You got to do something. I think you trade Egbuka. I think you look to trade Jordan Mason. I think you sell the house. You need
Josh Allen.
You sell Josh Allen. Yes. I think that's the biggest thing for someone when you're, 0-5, and if you have the best QB, you sell the QB. I think that's what you have to do. But let me get back on track. Egbuka, for his first 5 games of his career, 23% target share, 20.5 PPR points per game, 89 yards per game, and a touchdown a game. Crazy stats. With that volume, with some injuries in the Bucs wide receiver room, there's questions if he's going to be able to continue that for the whole season. Like, Godwin's back now, and he's doing it. But when Mike Evans was there, he was doing it. But what about when Mike Evans and Godwin are back together? Is Egbuka going to be doing that? You don't know, but someone would be willing to take that chance on Egbuka. I might. I don't know. But you might as well start those conversations. Solid. What was I going to say? And I get it. He has Bijan and Bucky still on his bench. But again, Bucky, I think that's someone you got to trade. With the injury, what's happening, you don't know when he's going to come back. Trade him to someone that is up there more in the rankings. I might take him. Like, I'm willing to work with you, Bink. That's all I'm saying. This is a plea. Please work with me. Yeah, you need wins now. He needs his lineup to look as close to Trevor's as possible. And by that, I mean borderline no bench but without the star power of CMC and Puka, because he won't be able to get those types of players. But he needs a full starting roster, and he has like works of depth through like injuries and a little bit of risk here and there that he can trade those to get a full, healthy, solid starting lineup. And he would just have to restart on his bench through the waivers as weeks go on. But that's what he needs to do. He needs to let go of Josh Allen, Igbokwe, Jordan Mason. He could probably get something out of just to get a full solid lineup. But that's what I think he needs. He's got to change something. Great win for Chase, but the Bink's got to be looking to make some moves.
Trev, what are your thoughts on this one?
I agree with that. I think that would be a good strategy for the Bink. I'm like, especially even if like he needs to win like every week. So even if like a guy is on bye, trade him and get maybe a worse player. Like last week, or was it last week that Bijan was on bye?
Yeah.
Trade him and get a better player for Bijan and just try and manage your way into winning each week.
You got to do week by week wins.
Yeah, because I mean, 0-5 is not easy to come back from. I don't think he's quite out of it, but it's definitely panic time.
What Kevin say in last week's podcast about what you said? You were 0-4, and you said you wouldn't panic until you were 0-5. I think last year or 2 years ago, he said
Maybe.
you said that.
Yeah.
But
I think he said something like that. But
he's at that 0-5 mark. Did we lose Trev?
I think Trev's connection's going a little bit.
There we go.
Especially for Bink, we haven't talked about it yet, but I think we've talked about how 6 wins is about what you need to make the playoffs for sure. Bink's either got to win out or he can drop 1 or 2 more games. And with his roster.
I thought you were about to say something else. I thought you were going to say you need 6, but you really need 7.
6
or 7.
Man, that's good. Oh, just real quick. I mentioned that last night at Dancing with the Stars, talking about a dance like maybe 6 or 7. Jack and Anna have no idea what that means. Talk about being out of the loop, but we'll keep you in the loop on this podcast. We've got the freshest celebrations, the Zombie Land. Talk about those dope-ass sellies. And we'll keep you up on
I'm about to be the first guest to leave mid-podcast.
But that was the week 5 recap.
Wait. Trevor still had the whole matchup to talk about. This is going to be a 2-hour podcast.
I've still got a lot to say about this one.
Go ahead.
I've got a lot to say about this one. Well, not a whole lot to say other than yikes for Binky.
All right, moving on. That was
the number. He could go 6-3 would put him at 6-8. So he's got to go 6-3 from here. But the number 1 team in the league right now, the number 1 seed in Chase versus the number 8 seed Monty, and it turned out to be the highest score versus the lowest score on the week. So I'm not saying that Monty has the worst team. I actually think that he's like undoubtedly the best 0-5 team in like the history of this league. Just has run into a lot of misfortune and just a bad matchup with Bijan on the bye, Bucky hurt, facing a hot Chase team, just not the right matchup to be going into 0-5. But like, just look at his points against on the app. It's 688 right now with points against. That's almost 200 more points than Chase's points against.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure teams playing Chase are averaging less than 100 points per game. But that's 137 points per game average versus Monty. But the great thing about fantasy football and for Monty is that looking in a little preview before the preview, a win this week for Monty and a loss from either Kyle or Jack, and he's only one game out of the playoff picture.
Mm-hmm.
So he could, even after all this start, he could go, if the right things happen this week, he could only be one game back of the playoffs. So, but it also could be 0-6 and the season could be pretty much over. So even bigger week for Monty this week. Chase, JT looking awesome. I think he has like 7 total touchdowns, which is ironic that Chase has him because I was thinking about it. I think Chase is the only non-Colts fan in our league. So we're all excited about JT for the Colts, and then Chase has him on his fantasy team. So, and Mahomes looks like to his old self fantasy-wise. They're not really winning games, but he's putting up big numbers in fantasy. Jamar, I think he might have gotten some garbage time points, but good to see Jamar getting points up there. And hopefully, if anybody for Joe Flacco, hopefully it helps out Jamar for Chase. And then for Monty, not really great with anybody except for Ibuka and maybe Cortland Sutton. And as far as Monty's team, I don't know why Travion Henderson is not the guy for New England. But maybe he will be more now that Antonio Gibson is hurt, but I don't know why they're not getting him the ball because I don't think Ramondre Stevenson is good at all. But yeah, that's what I have for this one.
Well, already that was the week 5 recap. Can you believe we're already 5 weeks in? Over a third of the way through the regular season. Just a few cleanup. Kyle, I don't think he had too many stats of the week, but Trevor, I've been loving the breakdowns. I love that I got an unexpected win. Also, congrats to Kevin for guest picking 4-0. Our guest pickers have been insane. I'm sure Trevor will bring that down, regress back to the mean.
Oh, yeah. Bound to happen.
Monty had one poll this week. He asked your reaction to the Sanchez stabbing. I want to know your guys' quick thoughts on that. But looks like the butt fumbler deserves death wins. So that's exciting.
After the news that came out that he attacked the man. Definitely had to go back.
69-year-old man.
Yeah.
69-year-old delivery driver. Mark Sanchez is trying to say
he was doing DoorDash deliveries after he lost a couple bets, trying to make that money back. That's what I heard.
Probably. I'm glad I wasn't in
your future.
I could have been stabbed by Mark Sanchez. But that's what I voted for.
You think Mark Sanchez deserves to die? I believe one person, I can't really read it, but their initials are KO. They said, I wanted him to get deported by ICE. That was kind of weird.
That is.
Don't know who said that.
I don't think you can say that.
But we're going to take a quick commercial break, and then we'll be back with our regularly scheduled preview of Week 6. We'll be right back.
So, there's a lot of gay people out there talking to gay people about being gay. But we are a group of straights. And we're here to say that we're okay with people being gay. Does it really matter if your guy friends like guys over girls? I mean, doesn't that kind of just leave more girls for you? And furthermore, we're not going to let anybody say anything bad about anyone ever again in the history of the world.
And we're back.
Wait, can I talk about the breakdown overview?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. But one thing I want to talk about that we haven't, or that I kind of brought up briefly with Monty drafting Josh Allen. When you draft a quarterback that early, you need him to produce like he should, even though he's first, he's not producing that 30 plus per week type of output. Trevor?
Is this live?
Yeah.
Like you didn't say, and we're back or whatever.
And we're back.
Okay.
Cut it in. Now we're still live.
Cool. Keep going.
Okay. I looked back at the draft, and there were five QBs drafted in like that early segment in rounds 3 and 4, and then there were 3 teams that didn't, and it's Chase drafted Mahomes in the 9th. You drafted Baker in the 8th, and I didn't draft a quarterback until round 14, Kyler.
Top 3.
And we are the top 3.
Wow.
Fantasy. The top 3 did not take a quarterback in the 3rd or 4th round.
Wow. That's interesting because I feel like we might have talked about this at the draft, but I think the past few winners have had like Lamar or Josh Allen.
Yeah, they all needed a top QB.
Well, but the problem is Lamar and Josh Allen haven't been –
Lamar and Josh Allen, exactly. They haven't had those 30-plus average weeks. But anyways, the breakdown overview. Chase takes the lead in the breakdown over Trevor. Chase was 0-7 week 1, and then since then has never been below 5-2 in the breakdown. Trev with back-to-back 3 and 4 weeks has fallen to second place. Crazy stat here. They're the only 2 people in the season-long breakdown with a record over 500. Everyone else is below 500 in the breakdown.
Wow.
Tied for next, though, and third is me and Kyle with we're 1 game below 500. 2 pretty different ways of being tied. I've been 4-3 3 times, a 3-4, and a 2-5. So I've been pretty in the middle, while Kyle has had a 7-0, 6-1, and then also an 0-7 and 1-6. So you never really know what type of team you're facing when you face Kyle, either stud or ass. Jack and Ted, sort of similar with Kyle, but 1 less win. Bink 1 below that, and then Kevin at the tail. But he did, for the first time, get over that 2-5 hump with a solid 6-1. So he's catching up on the breakdown.
That's interesting. You said that you and Kyle are tied,
Mm-hmm.
and you're 4-1, and he's 2-3. That's pretty crazy.
Like I said, it's because of the different ways we got to being tied. Him having the 7-0, 6-1, and then 0-7 and 1-6 weeks, and I've just been 4-3, 3-4, 2-5. So
that's pretty crazy. Damn it! I didn't know that I was not first. I haven't checked it yet this week. It's too bad.
Well, moving on to our Week 6 preview, little birdie tells me A6 Sportsbook got something to say.
As we begin the preview of Week 6 of the 2025 ZFFFL, I must remind you of our great sponsorship over at our ZFFFL A6 Sportsbook, A6 Footwear. This week's feature, the A6 Nova Blast 5. It's springy, responsive, and once it gets going, it just doesn't want to stop. Every pull feels smoother, every bounce hits harder, and by the end, you'll swear it knew exactly how you like it. A6, a sound mind is a sound body.
I love it. Let's get into our first matchup. This one is a little interesting. This is sponsored by Carrie Ann Inaba. This is the Lift Police matchup. Teddy versus RJ. RJ's like Dwight Howard trying to pick up Daniela Zaragacha.
Yeah.
He's trying to lift himself up into that 5-1 stratosphere where he can just cruise along. And I'm trying to lift myself up with him and Chase. But I need to get my running back room in order and figure out my wide receiver too. Is it going to be McConkey or McLaurin? I call it the battle of the Scots in my head. And RJ, I think if your wide receivers can manage, it's over. It's over. Like Vince Carter. Wow.
It's me and Daniela.
Wow.
Is she on Dancing with the Stars?
Oh, yeah.
I'm watching.
But I think RJ's wide receivers are interesting because Devontae and Drake London, I feel like they're famous for their magic. What magic, you ask? I call them disappearing acts. 1 week they're there, 1 week they're not. RJ, what's the sportsbook think about this one?
As of now, we don't get started until we see JK play in Bangladesh at 9 a.m. on Sunday, and then finish strong Monday night with Caleb Williams and Drake London. For me, James Cook for you. So big matchup there. I think it truly comes down to Brandon Aubrey. I think that's plain and simple. If he gets double digits, you win. If he doesn't, I win. It's that simple. Matchup-wise, Kamara and Achane both facing top 5 Ds, while Devontae has a bottom 5 D. James Cook and Ladd both facing top defenses for their positions. Tough. It's close. The book actually has me -2.5.
Ooh. Trev, what you thinking?
RJ -2.5 versus Teddy +2.5.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, I'm calling this one the ZFFFL FF Pod podcast host matchup. Presented by
ZFFFL FF Pod.
Presented by ZFFFL FF Pod. The first time for the podcast to sponsor the podcast. But I also am calling this one double sponsor alert.
Triple.
Calling this one the old school let's keep streaking matchup because both of these teams are on, I believe, a 2-game win streak. Head-to-head matchup between the podcast hosts who you guys are responsible for both my losses. So I think you guys both have good teams staring me right in the face here. But yeah, I mean, there's a lot, I feel like, of primetime games in this. Like you probably won't know who is going to win until, I don't know, probably until like at least this Sunday night game finishes. But let's see here. A few matchups. Yeah, in prime time. RJ, for you, is it time to double stack Gibbs and Montgomery? Double stack them like a Wendy's plain double cheeseburger, just meat and cheese. And for Teddy, for you, you also have a lot of primetime guys, but oh man, I think that
he's stalling. He can't decide.
I'm gonna go with Teddy +2.5.
Wow.
Yes, yeah, that's not good for you, Teddy. I'm certainly not going to go 4-0 this week. So
that's rough.
But I'm going to take Teddy +2.5.
Wow. All right, moving on to our next matchup. This one is the Home Depot Get Your Rope Early matchup. Monty versus
it's like
Kevin.
Monty's matchup.
Yep. Monty needs a win. This is make or break for the Bink, and I think he knows it. I think he's stressing. I think he's probably driving himself insane. But he needs Josh Allen, Bijan Poppinson to pop off, but I'm just not. If he starts Travion Henderson and Cortland Sutton or A.J. Brown and he has to rely on them, I'm watching YouTube tutorials on how to make a noose. And then Kevin, on the other hand, can Javonte Williams and JSN keep it up? I think Chris Olave, Pittman, Hunter Henry, or whoever he might trade for could be the big deciders. Or if he decides to put Chase Brown back in because 47-year-old Joe Flacco is really going to turn the needle for that Bengals offense. RJ, what's the sportsbook say about this one?
Yeah, Bink has A.J. Brown if he starts him, and Eagles defense Thursday finished with QB versus QB action Monday night with Josh Allen, Jaden Daniels, and also Bink has Bijan. And also Bink has Bijan Monday night as well. Sutton for Bink and Broncos for Kev in Yugoslavia on Sunday morning. The book just kind of like you said, if any of those guys, if the Bink starts them, you got to start. You might as well just buy a pre-made noose, so you don't have to take your time to make it. And the book kind of agrees. They kind of wrote me a note that said that specifically, along with Kevin -6.5.
Wow. Interesting. Let me write these down so I know on the podcast guest picks recap how I did. Well, I'm calling this one the Chili's We Have Everything. This is everything matchup because it's everything for mostly Monty, but also a big matchup for Kevin, which is why I'm also calling this one the must-win, can't-lose matchup of the week. This is a must. I'm declaring it a must-win for Monty. He absolutely cannot lose to go to 0-6. And this is a cannot lose for Kevin because he absolutely must win and can't let Monty get one game behind him, as well as the tiebreaker in the head-to-head. Yes, Teddy.
I was just going to ask, is there any correlation between like a mortal lock and a must-win, can't lose, like in terms of how you see them?
I wouldn't say so. I would say a mortal lock is more like this is what's going to happen, and this I'm just calling these like must win for Monty. It's a must win game.
Okay,
it's can't lose, Kevin. But Monty having Josh and Bijan Monday Night Football is scary for Kevin. I mean, that could be a ton of points there. We'll probably have, again, no idea about this matchup till Monday night. A lot of guys, I mean, with the double Monday night game, there's a lot of primetime matchups. Eagles D and an angry A.J. Brown on Thursday if Monty decides to play him. Jordan Mason on the bye. Will Bucky play? Kevin with Jaden on Monday Night Football, so really not going to know till Monday on this one. And then Hunter Henry, instant revenge game. Monty has him, drops him, played him last week, drops him. Kevin picks him up in the starting lineup. So Hunter Henry is the instant revenge game, going from playing his old team right away. But until I see Monty starting to make some moves, I don't think he's. Ooh, that looks good.
Green tea.
I think you're muted.
I'm muted.
I am. It's fantastic. Green tea mango Surfsides.
Ooh.
So good.
A fourth sponsor for the game.
Or sponsor.
Tastes like the peach cups.
Like
it tastes like the like liquid that you get from the peach. Those little peach cups that you used to get as a kid.
So not like mango or green tea or vodka?
No, zero alcohol. There's alcohol in it. Doesn't taste like alcohol. Sorry for the.
I was gonna say.
What's your pick, Trev?
Why are you drinking that then? Until Monty starts making some moves, I don't see a win coming. I'm gonna take Kevin -6.5.
Speaking of, Kevin's 2-3, right?
Uh-huh.
This is a sneaky big game for him because
it's a can't lose.
Yeah, with the tiebreaker, like you don't really realize that him being, because if he lost, Monty wins. That's one game difference, and Monty has the tiebreaker, so that can get interesting.
I said that while you were getting your Surfside.
Ooh.
That's why it's a can't lose for him. Because, and like I said earlier, if Monty wins, he's already has one of those teams staying at 2 wins. He'll be at 1 win. And he would just need Kyle or Jack to lose to be at 2 wins. So all Monty needs this week is a win and Kyle or Jack to lose, and he's one game out of the playoffs. So must win, can't lose. But I'm going to go with Kevin minus 6.5 until Monty makes some trades. Speaking of, I meant to ask this when we were talking about that. Has Monty reached out to any of you guys about trades? The only trade talk I've heard from Monty was the days after the draft, before the first football game even started, and I haven't heard any trade talk from him since. So
I reached out to him about a player, and if he was interested in trading him. And he said no. So
Wow. Maybe things have changed.
And that was it. That was last week. So he's
maybe he'll be convinced to make some moves from this podcast.
I'm trying to help the bank. And help us.
I don't like seeing somebody lose all that. I mean, it doesn't make it very dramatic for making playoffs. So
yeah.
Come on, Binky.
Well, moving on to our next
1 hour mark.
1 hour mark.
Halfway there.
Moving on to our next matchup, we've got the Cirque du Soleil human cannonball matchup. Because I think this is Chase. He is in the cannonball cannon, and he's going to launch himself up to 5-1. And Kyle is on the other side. He just wants to watch out. He doesn't want to run into Chase's freight train. But looking at this matchup, I think Kyle's got a great team. He needs Bowers to get healthy. I hear there's some controversy in the Raiders locker room. The coaches forced him at gunpoint to play hurt with his knee. But as much as I like Kyle's team, I love Chase's team. Mahomes is playing out of his mind. JT, Jamar, Dalton, Kincaid, that's a guaranteed 120 right there. Everyone else is just icing on the cake. And Rashad White, if he's RB1 on the Bucks, Zooey Mama. But RJ, it doesn't matter what I think. What does the sportsbook think?
Scattaboo Thursday, but we've talked about it. Tyrone Tracy, no injury designation. Could be interesting how he gets worked into that offense because it will be his first time playing with Jackson Dart. Don't know what that's going to look like. Saquon for Kyle on Thursday, and we already talked about his injury concerns. Ends with Kincaid on Monday. But this matchup does also have a 9 a.m. start on Sunday with Garrett Wilson over in the Maldives. The book, actually, I know you like Chase's team so much. The book does too, but you know what? It really likes Kyle's team too. Believe it or not, pick them.
Wow. Trev, who are you taking?
That is interesting. I'm calling this one the U.S. Department of Education. I'm an idiot because I couldn't think of a good sponsorship for this one. But Chase, Mahomes, Scattaboo in prime time. Team's looking great. Kyle with Nico on bye. Saquon, is he injured? Looks like he might be going back to that Raider double stack. So with Bowers and Genty. And I just think, I don't know if I like that. And I think Chase's team is rolling. So I'm going to go with Chase money line.
Wow. That seemed like a pretty easy decision for you, Trev.
I don't know. I mean, I didn't have much on that one, but
Kyle has some really good matchups. I think that's what the book is seeing. Justin Herbert, third best matchup for QB. Saquon, seventh best. Ashton Genty, third best. That's what they're kind of banking on.
Yeah, I mean, I went with
I think
a team that just scored 140 points. Nothing against Kyle, but so law of averages. Kyle will probably have a good week and Chase might not. So I'm probably going to be wrong, but this is my initial reaction.
Now we've got our last matchup, and I want to suggest putting a little spice on this one. This is sponsored This one's a little, I don't know how this came through. This is sponsored by the Holy Roman Empire. This is the Crusade matchup because we've got both Christian teams going against each other. Trevor versus Jack. If I would like to propose, I know Jack won't do it. I know Trevor won't do it. Winner of this game gets to keep Christian McBlank in their team name because it's just annoying to look at, to kind of like scroll through and be like, okay, next week I'm playing, is that Jack or Trevor? And then you have to go and kind of like click on his team. It's like the whole thing. Don't want to worry about that. So Trevor,
I have to go jerk off and then restart and do it all over again.
Oh yeah. But looking at the teams, Trevor, I know we said Lamar questionable probably. I think he's probably going to be wheelchair bound the rest of his life, but Dak seems to be cooking if you keep up with him. I think with CMC and Puka, you just need like one more person to have a good performance. Will it be Lil Bill Cosby? Maybe Xavier Worthy? I don't know. Jack, his team is looking rough. Derrick Henry, who knows? This is giving me shades of his last year on the Titans when it's not like he's given up, but the team just has nothing for him if they're not cooking. He needs to figure out his wide receivers, Debo and Jameson Williams. I just can't see them being consistent performers outside of maybe having like 20 burgers like every 3 weeks. So that's tough for Jack. I like Trevor in this one, but RJ, what is the book saying about this one?
Jalen Hurts for Jack Thursday night. Then you have Debo and Lil Bill Monday night. Jack will also have Breece Hall over in Turkmenistan Sunday morning. Great matchups for Trevor's pass catchers. And an extremely tough one for Jalen Warren, who he has right now in the starting lineup, or at least the last time I checked. While Jack sees a tough one for the struggling Derrick Henry, like you mentioned, and a good one for Jake Ferguson and Kyron Williams. Battle of the Christian fantasy names, and I ain't talking religion. Trevor minus 6.5.
Ooh.
Jeez.
Trev, you gotta love hearing that out of the sports book. They are unbiased, and that's just the straight line.
I don't love that line.
Line is not straight. Nothing straight with this sports book.
It's a fruity sports book. Trev, what you thinking?
I don't love that line, but I got to go with myself. So I'll take the 6.5. I'm calling this one the UFC newly established rivalry matchup because for some reason Jack wanted to make his fantasy football team name about one of my players. So we've made a new rivalry this year, and I just couldn't wait to get my hands on him and just
Oh, and so dig into him.
I mean, I don't know why he made his team name that, but yeah, so that's going to be a big rivalry.
Little fuck.
I think he should change his team name anyway. I don't know why it's that, but taking a shot at my guy like that. And I'm also calling this one the ESPN beat the streak matchup because both of these two teams are on a losing streak of 2 games. But I don't think either of these are going to – two teams are going to go out without a fight, trying to break that losing streak. Me probably going to be without Lamar and Mike Evans. Jack potentially without CD and obviously lost Tyreek. But both teams are going to be scratching and crawling for that win. I've got Worthy Sunday Night Football. I think I got to go with Bill Krosky Merritt on Monday Night Football, even though I'm not sure what I'm going to do with my running backs yet or my quarterback. Jack getting started with Jalen on Thursday night. But both teams on a little slump. I could see this one being a close one, but I will take myself minus 6.5.
Wow.
I think this is going to be a big game for Christian, knowing he's going up against the guy who said he'd have a calf strain. Either that, or I'll go ahead and make sure I don't jinx myself right there. Either that, or he's going to get hurt.
I'm gonna cut that out.
Or he'll get a calf strain.
I'm cutting that. Oh,
so
I'm kind of rooting for that now. Hate to say it. Sorry, Chase. I'm rooting for that now.
but we'll see.
And that is it for the Week 6 preview. I don't know if Trevor, you have anything more to say. RJ, you've got any more target share notes? Ooh, a little Jordan Childs and Ezra. Is that Ezra?
No, that's Daniela Keragach and
Oh,
Moskov.
okay. I was gonna say, look at her move those hips.
Is that the same girl from earlier?
Yeah.
Is she famous or is she the dancer?
She's
Come
the
on.
dancer.
She's a famous dancer, Trev. Both.
That's fair. What do you call the other people who aren't dancers?
Pros.
There's the pros and the stars.
Yeah. Get your shit together, Trev.
Have you guys looked at the points scored? I know that's not a direct correlation to how good a team is, because I'd rather go off the breakdown off of consistency to see what a team is. But the points scored, Division 2 is killing it. We have the highest point scorer in Chase, and then there's Teddy in second, and then it's Trevor in third, me in fourth, and the Bank in fifth has scored more total points than Jack, Kevin, or Kyle.
Wow.
Isn't that wild?
That is wild. Wait. Who'd you say was second?
Ted.
I think I'm second.
Trevor is second. I think you're on old.
Yeah.
Old. Kyle's last. That's Kyle's last. I feel like people aren't talking about that as much.
When Kyle either goes off or does absolutely nothing. But isn't that crazy that Monty's fifth?
Well, Monty's points against, he has the most points against by 80 points.
It's because he's faced all the people that have scored so many points. This is his chance to get out of it. Like, this stretch is what he needs.
It's going to be make or break.
Yeah, Monty has been so unlucky.
Well, I think that's all we have for this short, quick pod. As always, thanks for listening. It's on the Football Fantasy Football League, Fantasy Football Podcast. Make sure to get those bets in. Desperately need the bets before the Thursday night game. Be sure
if you guys want something fun at the end of the year party to do to try and win some money back or win more money, bet on the sports book. Just place one and you at least get to participate.
Come on, place those bets. We don't want the sports book to go away.
Be sure to follow us on all social media platforms at ZFFFL FF Pod on all major platforms. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And as always,
Fuck you, Trevor.